Hey, what is up everybody? How are you guys doing? Thank you for coming and checking out this video. This is Bluefoot Homestead. Check out some of my other videos on this channel. I'd appreciate it, and I do appreciate any support that you get. Now I kind of want to talk about when you're wrong, you're wrong. And I was pretty much wrong on this. Now talking about the hurricane that came in, it was pretty much off the coast of Tampa Bay. The bands were starting to kind of go into the Gulf. They were talking about 40-foot storm surges and all this kind of stuff. And I was saying this hurricane is not going to be that bad. It is not going to be the hype that the media is giving it. Now, yes, it was quite devastating. We're all still dealing with it. It's all over the media right now. But it is not the hype that they were giving it. Something else happened. And that's something I didn't really think about. The big thing with the media and the buildup to this hurricane was this 40-foot storm surge that was going to devastate the whole coastline of the Gulf. Now that didn't really happen. Yeah, there was a storm surge. It was nowhere near what they were saying it was going to be, and that was kind of my premise on talking about it the way I talked about it. Now the difference with this hurricane is it didn't take the normal track. Usually it'll go up through Georgia, outside South Carolina, out to sea. But there was a low pressure system that was up kind of in the Missouri area. And usually only see the tail. But yes, this is a good kitty. Recently lost her brother. But that low pressure system kind of looped it around in your way up to the west, which is very unique. Now it went into Tennessee, North Carolina. It hit all these areas with the strong side of the storm. It's usually the weak side of the storm that hits those areas. They're not used to getting this. That alone isn't that big of a deal. You don't have the storm surge. You don't have all these issues that come along with it. You're going to get wind destruction. You're going to get different things that happen. But the topography of where the heavy rain dropped is what did it. Now, I didn't really see that coming, and I should have, because just this spring, we all remember in Kentucky and Tennessee, where you have these topographies of very hilly areas with deep valleys, you get flooding. And even just, I think it was 2 cold fronts that came through in like a week, drowned out a lot of people this spring. I don't know if you remember that, but I remember seeing businesses with the water up to the top of their roof. Semi-trucks completely underwater because of where these areas are. It's not because it was necessarily a lot of rain, which it was a lot of rain, but normally you can deal with these type of situations. But the places that hold the water, people build. People put businesses there. People put homes there. You might have streams, so it's a little more appealing to somebody that wants to live there. So this was the problem with it. And I kind of wanted to make this video because I just came across a series. I haven't been following them for some reason. I think I got booted off his subscription list. But Justin Rhodes. If anybody is into homesteading, if pretty much anybody's a prepper, you've heard of Justin Rhodes or you follow him on YouTube. There's a lot of people that have been with him for many years that have seen this whole progression of his farm and homestead and all this kind of stuff. He got fairly devastated. He didn't get completely wiped out, but just kind of interesting that, can I help you? To see his animals all over the place. Chickens. I think he found a chicken on the top of a hill very far away from his chicken coop, dead. If I perceived it right, there was a watermelon that was up the hill. You know, just all these things, a lot of devastation. Took out his high tunnels and greenhouses, and he got a lot of devastation. Took out his driveway. It's not from the hurricane, it's from the flooding. And flooding is one of the most devastating acts of nature. it can relocate mountains. I mean, flooding is just absolutely horrible. So I want to stand before you guys to say I'm kind of retracting a little bit about what I said by saying, yes, this hurricane isn't going to be much in context, because I still believe what I was saying, that what that was regarding still stands true. But this ended up being horrible. And then we have this whole government issue and FEMA being broke, supposedly broke because they spent all the money on migrants and they're not allowing people to come in, which is kind of crazy. I understand the organization of it. I understand that they got to keep everything going the way that they keep it going. But still, I mean, come on. The funding, I think they put like $2 billion into it, like $750 a head or per household or whatever it is, to give a little bit of relief. And that's just a joke. $2 million is a joke. Turkey and Syria had an earthquake. We sent $185 million over there. You know, come on, guys. Yeah, just kind of a joke. And is there a reason for it? There probably is. Same reason the border's open. Same reason our free speech is getting torn down and all this stuff. It'll probably make sense one day, maybe 15 or 20 years from now, when we look back and read about the events that happened and the build up to this whole SHTF that's going to happen. It'll all be explained at some point. So, yeah, my hearts and prayers and thoughts go out to everybody that's affected by this. And luckily here in Missouri, we didn't even get a breeze. My brother is in Georgia, in Macon, Georgia. He got like a couple 30-mile-an-hour gusts out of the storm, and that was about it. And the eye wall was 100 miles over to the east. So proximity is a big deal. It's a very big deal. And he is perfectly fine, unaffected at all. And he lives in a camper, you know. So, yeah, he's not even in a brick and mortar type building at all. He's on wheels. So that could have been very devastating for him. But he came out okay. But if you go 200 miles over, people lost everything. People lost their lives in some cases. Also, when I last reported, there were either three or five people that lost their life to the hurricane, as the eye wall was on land and things like that. Those are the hurricane numbers. But the flooding numbers, which they are grouping in with the hurricane numbers, and maybe rightfully so, is up 222, I think was the last I saw, 225. And they're still finding people. Residents are finding people in culverts and stuff like that, so it's pretty bad. So, yeah, everybody stay safe out there. And kind of the tip and the idea and the learning lesson that I'm getting out of this, and it's just furthering my narrative on things that I've said many times before on my videos, is SHTF isn't necessarily going to be what you're prepping for. Things go sideways out of nowhere. And I don't think many people at all were expecting the flood damage that came from this hurricane. They were expecting the winds. They were expecting what the media was pushing out there and what everybody was talking about, and the storm surge and all this kind of stuff. They didn't expect flash flooding 40 feet deep ripping through their neighborhood. So how do you prepare for that? Like Justin Rhodes said, you can't. You can't prepare for something like that. You can't see it coming. So prepare generally. Keep your head on a swivel. In the back of your head, think that if something's coming and you see something coming, it might be worse just a little bit off to the side. That main thing might come, but there might be something bigger behind it. So it's kind of hard to do, but definitely keep prepared. My thoughts out there, everybody affected by it. Hopefully everybody's kind of getting their life back to normal a little bit. And with that, I'll go ahead and leave it. So if you're not affected, have a good day. If you were affected, do your best to have a good day. Get your life back. All right, I'll talk to you later. Peace.